Hey, it's Lee, and I'm here with another pizza review. I've actually filmed a bunch in recent days just because I haven't gone out to do groceries, and this is pretty much the only thing I got in my freezer. So I've eaten essentially a pizza every second day for the past 6 days or 5 days. This is Irresistables Gusto Italiano double pepperoni. So my rule is pepperoni or cheese, or I suppose salami if they have only salami. But this is double pepperoni. It's still just pepperoni, so we'll just call it a pepperoni pizza for now. Gusto Italiano, or Irresistibles, I should say, is a no-name brand essentially for one of the larger grocery chains in Canada. I believe it's from Metro, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna say it's from Metro. What's this saying? It's saying extra virgin olive oil, thin crust. And that makes sense. It's only 365 grams, so that's super, super light. Let's look at the back for instructions. So this one actually requires the oven to be at 400 for 14 to 16 minutes. So that's a fairly long cook time for a thin crust pizza, so that should be all right. I'm expecting it to be pretty crispy. Let's take it out of the packaging and see what it looks like. Let's see what double pepperoni actually looks like, because frozen pizzas aren't usually very generous with toppings. All right, the pizza's out of the wrapper, and it looks to have a bit of pepperoni on it. It's actually layered weirdly, like it's stacked on top of itself. So while it's not spread out evenly, there is a lot of pepperoni that's kind of like double thick here. Hey, it's the way it came. It's the way I'm going to eat it. That's fine. This looks fairly promising. It is absolutely thin crust. It seems to have decent cheese coverage, so I'm not too concerned. I think this will be good. I've had others from this brand, and it seems to try to mimic the Ristorante brand, but never quite gets there. But still, very decent pizza from what I can remember, so I have fairly high hopes. We'll see what happens. All right. I don't know why I always start by saying all right. Here's the pizza out of the oven. I followed pretty much the instructions, 14 minutes at 400. The top was not cooked at all, so I broiled it for a minute. And it's looking really good, and it's smelling pretty darn good too. This is a double pepperoni pizza. It does have, relatively speaking, a lot of pepperoni, we'll say. Not particularly well distributed, but so be it. I don't know, cheese coverage looks good. For a thin crust pizza, you don't need a ton anyway. So let's just cut into it, take a look at what we see, or if we see anything weird. But I think it's just going to look like a pizza. Alright. The underside looks a little underdone, maybe. I think it's probably going to be fine. So maybe I needed to go a little bit closer to 16 minutes at 400. But let me double check my instructions here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. In case you were wondering why this thing was dirty already, this is my second pizza review of the day. I actually decided to make two pizzas, and what I'm doing is I'm actually going to store some of this for another day. I haven't tried reheating any of these pizzas once they're cooked, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens there. So yeah, that's why I did it. I'm just getting two reviews in while I can. Pizza's cut. I think it's cooked plenty. It looks really good. I'm going to give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this pepperoni is good, since there's quite a bit of it there. And I'll be right back. And I'm back with a review. So what can I say? I guess I'll work my way up to the pepperoni. The crust, I didn't crisp it up as much as I probably should have, but I kind of liked it more this way. It's definitely cooked. It's just not super, super crispy. I thought it was nice. There is not a ton of cheese on here, but it's plenty for what it is. It's a thin crust pizza. It doesn't need a ton of cheese. It has a little bit of sauce, but doesn't need a ton of that either. The sauce is actually really tasty. I actually like the sauce quite a bit. I thought the crust was really good. The pepperoni is more of those kind of like super salty cured pepperonis rather than the ones that are a little bit more meaty, I'll say. Not bad at all, and in fact it actually has a little bit of spice to it, which is kind of nice. You don't kind of expect that from frozen pizzas. They usually are a little bit lacking in terms of flavor, but that's pretty nice. Overall, this pizza is really quite good. Do I wish the cheese had a tiny bit more cheese? Maybe a little bit. But everything else is pretty solid. The pepperoni is pretty decent. Yeah, it's hard to really make any kind of real complaints about this. I would go ahead and give this. Let's start with the right prop this time. 5, 3. I think this is an 8. This is an 8 out of 10. Really, really quite good. All right. Thanks for watching.